abundance of the things that he or she possesses. When we would yield to the temptation of a world rife with sexual promiscuity and gone wild with philosophy and self-expression, Jesus says that whosoever looks on a woman to lust after has committed adultery already in their heart. That's the way now, sex sells. Amen, somebody. Sex. Pastors now got mohawks, tattoos, tight jeans, muscles. We need to be able to touch the world. Well, you're supposed to draw the world to you. You're not supposed to be drawn to the world. Hello, somebody. See, too many people are getting concerned about filling the pews instead of filling the hearts of people with the gospel of Jesus. Let me come on back to Martin. When an affluent society would coax us to believe that happiness consists of the size of our automobiles, the impressiveness of our houses, and the expanses of our clothes, Jesus reminds us a man's life should not consist of the abundance of the things which he possesses. When we would yield to the temptation of a world rife with sexual promiscuity, gone wild, of philosophical self-expression, Jesus followed the path of comfort rather than conviction. Can I say that again? When we refuse to suffer for righteousness, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. When in our spiritual pride, we boast of having reached the peak of moral excellence, Jesus warns that the publicans and the harlots are getting the kingdom before we do. Hello, somebody. When we through compassionless detachment and arrogant individualism fail to respond to the needs of the underprivileged, the Master says, "Inasmuch as you have done unto the least of these, my brethren, you have done it unto me." Hello, somebody. Everywhere at all times, the love ethic of Jesus is a radiant light revealing the ugliness of our conformity. We preachers have also, and this one kind of bit me a little bit when I read it, and he's absolutely right. We preachers have also been tempted by the enticing cult of conformity. Seduced by the success symbols of the world. We have measured our achievements by the size of our congregation. We have measured the success of achievement by the size of our houses. We have become showmen to please the whims and caprices of the people. We preach comforting sermons and void saying anything from our pulpit which might disturb the respectable rich folks in our church. Have we ministers of Jesus Christ sacrificed the truth on the altar of self-interest? Because it started messing with me, and I know I wasn't around when he was preaching. I lost my hanky. He says we need to recapture the gospel glow of the early Christians. The hope of a secure and livable world lies within disciplined nonconformists. Those nonconformists who are dedicated to justice, to peace, to brotherhood. Yes, the hope of the world lies with those folks that are concerned with the brotherhood of all humankind. Academic, scientific, and religious freedom have always been nonconformists. Ask Martin Luther. Not the king, but I'm talking about Martin Luther and his treatise that refuse to conform. Y'all don't hear me this morning. In any cause that concerns the progress of humankind, we have to put our faith in the nonconformist, because the nonconformist is walking to a different beat than a lot of the majority of the folks are. Y'all don't hear me today. It's the nonconformists that question, why do we do what we do? Why do we hate like we do? Why don't we trust one another anymore? How come we don't love one another? How come we don't look at our neighbors with love and compassion? Why don't we take care of each other anymore? Step away from it for just a moment, then I'm done. I was bothered very much. I was at the news conference when they brought in the first migrants. I work with a lot of different community organizations. I said, sure, I'll be there. Well, to hear the things that were said about these people that had walked miles. And so one of the folks said, well, Pastor Bush, because remember, you too were a foreigner at one time. Hello, somebody. You see, we have become conformists. We have assimilated into a culture, and we have forgotten what it truly means to be human beings. There was a time when black folks were never homeless. That sounds a little strange, don't it? If Mr. Johnson lost his job, we threw rent parties to make sure their rent got paid. We sold spaghetti dinners out of Mr. Johnson's house to make sure he was taken care of. Now Mr. Johnson has lost his job and he's living on the corner, and we stepping over him. Martin says this in his essay, Self-Reliance. Emerson wrote, "Whoso would be a man must be a nonconformist. In fear and timidity follows a path of expediency, and social approval is a mental and spiritual slave." Well, I just wants to go along to get along. Christians don't do that. We follow the gospel. Because then we can share with you the witness of where our strength truly comes from. Somebody needs to hear me today. I can love those that mistreated me. I can love those that didn't like me. I can love those that call me the N-word, because they will not have power over me. One of my members asked me, "Well, Pastor, I'm having a problem with this gospel you've been preaching." I said, "Well, tell me, what's going on?" Controls my heart. Hello, somebody. Any Christian who blindly accepts the opinion of the majority and in fear and timidity follows the opinions of the majority and in fear and timidity follows a path of expediency and social approval is a mental and spiritual slave. And Martin closes this part of that sermon with these words. He says,